All right, welcome back to WMAC Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a fight preview. So we're going to UFC Vegas 62, aka UFC Fight Night, Grasso versus Araujo. We're going to the Flyweight main event. Fifth ranked Flyweight Alexa Grasso coming in at 14-3, taking on sixth ranked Flyweight Viviane Araujo coming in at 11-3. All right, so we've got a fight here with serious ranking implications, possible title shot implications, and you know what? This is just a great fight. Plus, for me, it's a Grasso fight. She's in a main event. She's one of my favorite fighters, so I'm really excited about this one. I've been excited all week and a little bit nervous all week as well, but this should be a good fight. I think it's a good stylistic matchup for each fighter. You know, each of them brings something different to the table, so I'm really excited about it. Anyway, let's go ahead and get down into it. First, let's talk about the stats here. Grasso coming in at 14-3, Vivi coming in at 11-3, so Grasso has a few more fights under her belt. Now, Grasso is riding a 3-fight win streak over Jeon Kim, Macy Barber, and then most recently fought and defeated Joanne Wood via submission, getting her first finish inside the UFC. Now, Araujo, on the other hand, is coming off a win over Andrea KGB Lee by decision about 4 months ago. And then before that, she dropped a decision to Katlyn Chookagian about a year and a quarter ago. That's no shame there. Let's talk about the age. Youth favors Grasso. She's 29 to 35 for Vivi. Who, let's be honest here, you're 35, you're on the wrong side of your 30s already. And then you look at the height, which favors Grasso slightly, 5 feet 5 inch, 165 centimeters to 5'4", 163 centimeters for Viviane. However, the reach is reversed here, 68 inches, 173 centimeters for Araujo to 66 inches, 168 centimeters for Grasso. Araujo has long arms and just really broad shoulders. So those are your stats. So let's break these fighters down. Let's talk about strengths here. Let's talk about Grasso first. Grasso, speed. Grasso's fast. She might be one of the fastest moving fighters in the flyweight division. And it probably helps that she came up from, strawweight. She managed to retain the speed while also gaining a little bit of strength. But one of the key elements to her striking style is speed. And then behind that speed, she has solid striking fundamentals, and at the core of it is a very good jab. Grasso knows how to use the jab in all kinds of ways, and she builds on that jab. She does a really good job of building on it. On top of that, Grasso's also got a good chin. She can take a shot. We saw that against Macy Barber. She got clipped in the third round, and she was able to withstand the barrage that Barber kept throwing at her. Now, some people think, Barber had her hurt. Barber did have her hurt a little bit, but the biggest problem Grasso had in that fight was that Barber just kept on coming and coming and coming. Really didn't give Grasso a chance to reset. But she was able to, endure that and keep going. Also, Grasso is pretty strong. Surprisingly, she came up in weight, and she's still pretty strong for a flyweight. Going back to the Barber fight, she was able to muscle Barber around in the clinch. Did pretty well there. Is able to really outwork, fighters who are bigger than her and supposed to be stronger than her, but she's still pretty strong. And then finally, Grasso is scrambly. And I mean on the ground, she's very good at working scrambles, very good at using scrambles to escape disadvantageous positions, and she's fast in those scrambles too. So she's very scrambly on the ground, which helps her out a lot if she gets taken down. Talking about Araujo. Well, she's strong. Okay, that is her biggest advantage. She is strong. She's built like a tank. You know, she's yoked. Got those big, strong arms, broad, strong shoulders. Excuse me, strong shoulders. And she uses it well because she's hard hitting. She's got some power. Now, she hasn't finished anyone with that power in really since her first UFC fight, but it's still there. She can hurt people with her punches, so she's got that power. Also, she's athletic. In a division full of women who aren't necessarily natural athletes, Araujo is athletic in comparison to a lot of the ladies in that division, and that can carry you very far. Also, Araujo, also very durable. You know, she survived that early near KO in her last fight against Andrea KGB Lee. Got dropped with a jab and then ate a high kick on the way back up. Really had her hurt. Had her going, excuse me, for the takedown. And then she had to recover from that. But she was able to recover from that because of her durability. Also, I like Araujo's takedown setups. She doesn't go for the takedown against the fence like so many fighters do now in the UFC. She sets up her striking to go for the takedowns away from the fence, which catches a lot of fighters off guard, and it actually makes for an easier takedown attempt. It's honestly, at this point in the game, at this point in the sport's growth, it's easier to get takedowns if you can set them up away from the fence than against them. And that's something that Araujo does and could be very key to her in this fight against Grasso. So let's talk about weaknesses for Grasso. Building on what we just mentioned, her takedown defense. She has 60% takedown defense. Not bad, but not great either. And she's shown that when fighters want to get her down, they're capable of getting her down. For Araujo, she's hittable. She's very hittable. I mean, like I said, she got hurt early against KGB Lee, and you don't want to be getting hit that early in a fight. If you're getting hit that early in a fight, it just makes you that much easier to hit later on in the fight as you tire out. And speaking of tiring out, her gas tank. You know, Araujo likes to throw everything she has behind most of her shots. Now, she did show some growth in that she didn't really tire out against KGB Lee in her last fight. But that was a 3-round fight. This is 5 rounds. So now let's talk keys to victory. Okay, start with Grasso. She's got to conserve her energy. Okay, conserve her energy early and tire Araujo out. You know, set the pace. Grasso is the faster fighter. It should be easy for her to set the pace. So can maybe conserve herself a little bit early and work on tiring Araujo out in the long run. Also, walk Araujo onto her shots. Like I said, Grasso has those good fundamentals. She's got good footwork, got good defense, got that jab, good technique, fundamentals. So walk Araujo onto her shots. And finally, don't over-engage. Don't get into drawn-out firefights with Araujo. Grasso tends to like to get on the inside, and then she's willing to work from the inside against her opponents. Not recommended necessarily against Araujo, so don't over-engage. Now for Araujo, the keys are 1, and this is big for her. Conserve energy. Conserve energy. Not every punch that you throw needs to be a power punch. And that's something that Araujo has done over and over and over again in the past. She just throws every punch as if that needs to be the fight-ending punch. And she gasses out early. Like I said, she showed some improvement in her last fight. But that was a 3-round fight. KGB looked like crap in that fight. And this is a 5-round fight. So conserve the energy. Also, drag Grasso into the mud. And by that I mean make it her fight, impose her will onto Alexa Grasso. She's got to drag Grasso into, a knockdown, tumble affair, make it her fight. Otherwise, Grasso's just going to be on the outside at range and just using her footwork and her jab and just clipping her all 5 rounds. And then finally, watch for the kicks. Grasso's low kicks particularly, she's not the best kicker. And if you can catch those kicks, you can convert them into a takedown. All right, so time for the pick. I'm going with Alexa Grasso. And it's not just because she's one of my favorite fighters. She is a big favorite in this fight, and I think that is reasonably expected. Grasso, like I said, she's a cleaner technician. And it's a 5-round fight, which I think is going to favor her. Grasso doesn't normally get tired. She got tired against Barber, but that's because she was dealing with an absolute beast of a fighter in Barber with the size and everything, and just fighting her over early long in the clinch. But I think the 5 rounds is definitely going to favor Grasso, and I think she'll just be able to just pick Araujo apart for the long part over 5 rounds. Now, I think Araujo can hurt Grasso. I think she'd have a very hard time finishing her, and I honestly don't see Grasso finishing Araujo either, so I'm going to go with Grasso via decision. Anyway, those are my thoughts on this fight. I'm taking Alexa Grasso to beat Viviane Araujo in the UFC Vegas 62 headliner. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like the video, please give it a like, and while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to WMMA Now, the best, most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.